And we are back with iHearIC Radio, episode 125. Woo. That was the sound of a 20-ounce bottle of Mountain Dew Code Red opening up to inaugurate the beginning of this episode. This was a gift brought to me by today's guest. Recording date, it is currently October 8th of 2023. I plan on releasing this on October 22nd of this month. My name is Justin Comer, by the way. I'm the host of this program. The reason for the 2-week delay between recording date and release date is because October 22nd is a very important day for the history of iHearIC Radio. October 22nd of 2017 was the first day that I ever broadcasted a show live at KRUI, the University of Iowa's student-run radio station in Iowa City, encouraged by, at the time, programming director Asa Crow. She had been to a few of the shows that I had been booking with my friend Carlos. That show was called iHearIC. And she was like, hey, do you want to do a radio show? And I was like, yeah, that sounds fun. And then I did it. And here we are 6 years later. It's no longer a radio show. It's no longer weekly. It's no longer live. Instead, it is pre-recorded in my living room once a month. And it doesn't even have its own podcast feed anymore. Now it is a monthly feature on the Rock Hard Caucus podcast feed, because Rock Hard Caucus overtook iHearIC as my main audio medium production. Anyway, my guest, as I said, brought to me a 20-ounce bottle of Mountain Dew Code Red, full sugar, I might add. I'm going to drink 280 calories of liquid sweetness over the next hour or so. And the man who brought this to me, if you've been a long-time listener to this show, you know the anniversary shows are very important. It's very important that we follow tradition and bring back Duroje Gwamna to the show. Welcome.
Hey, man. Nice. Thanks for having me here. I was going to say nice to have me here.
It is nice for me to have you here.
Absolutely.
Is it nice for you to have been here?
Absolutely. No, I feel honored to be part of this tradition. It's kind of cool that it's been 6 years since you've done this.
It was 6 years ago. And what a career I've built.
You have built quite the career. And we've gone through our respective careers, haven't we? Whether it's sold office supplies.
We're extremely successful men.
Exactly.
In the entertainment industry.
Very much. Here.
And Duroje is drinking a 20-ounce bottle of Mountain Dew Spark Zero.
I think it's like
it's like raspberry lemonade, right?
Yeah, actually it is. Yeah. You listed the ingredients from the thing. Yeah, I see raspberry and a thing of lemon. And because of the Beatus, it's 0 calories. So,
Right.
And
I usually drink the zero sugar stuff.
What, you do?
Days. Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Because last time you were at my house, you had 0 sugar Coke, which is phenomenal.
Yeah, I tend to like the zero branded pop flavors.
Well, I'm sorry.
Do you say soda or pop, Duroje?
Damn. Thanks to my wife, I think 45% of me has kind of gravitated towards the soda realm.
Really?
Yeah.
So she says soda.
She says, and I love her to death. She'll be like soda, but no, like pop is more expedient because it's just the one syllable, right? And we live in the Midwest, and that's what you say. You say pop.
I think you're supposed to, yes.
But
I think that like Iowa City, like people come from all over to go to school here, so we get like a mix of the regional dialects.
We do. We definitely, soda, I feel like kind of implies the sophistication. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I feel like the Iowa folks, like I'll take a soda, with my mixed drink or whatever,
Right.
But
that's when you don't want to hide your background.
Exactly. But Cedar Rapids.
I would like a soda, please.
Cedar Rapidians or Mount Pleasanters or anywhere in this rural states, like it's pop. I'll take pop.
Yeah, the real people.
Yeah, that's right. The hardworking ones.
Right. So Duroje, I brought up, I want to be really formal and read your bio.
You don't have to do that, but go ahead.
I brought up your website, dgwamna-music.com, and I don't remember if I did this last year or the year before. How long have you had this website?
Man,
not super long,
Not
right?
long at all. It's like, it is poorly maintained, and it's been like, I've had it for about a year. It's one of those where it's like, I've had it, like you get
I think
a nice.
It was up last time we recorded one of these.
Yeah. So, but I don't think it really changed much, but Yeah.
I don't think I read the bio, so
go right
let me
ahead. See what happens.
As means of introduction to anyone who may be new to Duroje. As I said, he's been on every anniversary episode of iHearIC Radio, so this would be the 6th time. I think you were also on the 100th episode.
I was, yes. Yeah, that was pretty cool.
The 4-hour radio show that I did.
Yeah.
And then you've been on Rock Hard Caucus twice, I think.
That was awesome.
Right? So anyone who's listened to the stuff that I do, you should be familiar with Duroje. But in case you're not, here's his bio on his website. It's written in first person, so I'm going to be playing the character of Duroje Gwamna now.
Add a lot of likes and and all that stuff, if you please.
Hello, welcome to the site. My name is Duroje Gwamna, a lifelong Midwesterner circa February 5th, 1988. So that's your birth date?
Yes, sir.
You just put that right out there, huh?
You sure did.
Yeah, I hope that's not part of your bank password or anything.
Oh, God. I better change that shit, don't I? Damn it.
I am a proud father and spouse, and perhaps the most insatiable Pokemon nerd you'd ever meet.
Correct.
Is that true? Are you the most insatiable?
The most? I would, especially within a 100-mile radius. Absolutely.
Yeah. Did you play there was an expansion released for Violet and Scarlet recently?
Unfortunately, yes, I have.
It's like 2 hours long.
It's 2 hours long and a waste of $35. They had some angsty little 11-year-old that is going to be the future, antagonist or whatever because he can't.
You basically made a bad guy.
I made a bad guy because he doesn't know how to craft a good team. I'm sorry, man. I have level 80 Pokemon and you just can't handle a loss, man.
And he has a terrible haircut.
He has a horrible haircut. Dude, thank you. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I played it too.
Okay, good.
It's, well, at least, for that $35, we also get a second expansion in a few months.
Yes.
Hopefully it takes longer than 2 hours to complete.
Oh my goodness. I'm sure we have a lot to talk about on and off air, but my goodness, what a DLC.
Let's continue with the bio. My love of music. And when I say my love of music, I mean Duroje's love of music. Don't forget, I am speaking in Duroje's first-person voice here.
Far.
I'm playing the role. My love of music started before my first memory. My parents regaling me of painfully embarrassing lyrics to made-up songs I used to sing on long car rides. This evolved into playing trombone in school ensembles, and eventually diving headfirst in the world of music, arranging, and composition. I owe this to my wonderful high school band director, James DePriest, for igniting this passion. So, painfully embarrassing lyrics.
Oh my God.
Do you recall any of those?
Yeah. So actually, there's 2-3 songs. So this 33% correct. So there's one song that I don't remember. My dad told me that I sang actually imitate him. He'll be like,
okay.
He'd be like, well, do you remember when you used to sing this song? You'd be like, my own baby, I love to see you all because of you. And I always assumed it was some girl of Ipanema sort of thing or whatever. And then that's one song I do not remember. I'm like, I think you guys are just implanting. You guys are definitely gaslighting me there a little bit. Cause I don't remember any of this shit. But then again, you don't remember things until you're 3, I guess. And then that's right? Something like that. I mean, then again, that could also be fake news. Who knows? And then there's a couple other songs. There's one where I do remember, God, I was I'm weird now, but I was weird as hell then. I think my mom was right where I was definitely on the spectrum, but that's a whole nother conversation.
So your mom thinks you are.
Oh, she definitely.
But you never were diagnosed or anything?
Never was diagnosed.
Yeah.
But it's one of those where there were not so subtle hints, but definitely you definitely didn't, the room didn't have to be quiet for you to hear something hey, you are autistic, and everybody knows it except for you. But one of the songs, I guess, was Driving on the Wrong Way. I'm sure they hated that song because I love my parents to death, but they weren't good drivers. My mom.
Oh, so it was a song about their driving?
About their driving, I'm sure. Yeah. But then I was just making shit up, I was just in the back seat. I was driving on the wrong way, beep, beep, I think that they like to regale me with this stuff because it annoyed them so much or whatever.
Right.
And then, I don't know.
You're just like a little jingle baby.
A little jingle baby, yeah. Thank you. Well, it's I think what it is as a kid, you had, I think the inhibitions were not there, and as, with my son Iotunde,
You hadn't been shamed so much.
Exactly. You know, we haven't been shamed until much later. And then that's when like the antidepressants come in and that's when the inhibitions start to creep up. You're like, yeah I better
be normal.
Be normal. Exactly. I better, put a tight lid on this before the whole world knows about all this crap. But as a kid, and that's the thing, kind of like in a brief tangent, it's like, it was nice being able to just be yourself and, people just being immersed by it regardless of what other people thought or whatever, and those songs were definitely a big part of that for me. Looking back though, I'm like, at the same time, I'm like, man, these songs just made no sense or cringeworthy.
Well, it's a little kid song.
It's a little kid song,
yeah,
but it's like,
it's
but like, can you imagine yourself singing these songs now? Can you imagine singing that song to Ashley about like driving on the wrong way? And Ashley's like, dude, like not right now. Because I'm lost. I need to figure out, you know what I mean? Like things like that. It's like, it's crazy what the brain, like what you're able to come up with even though you're like a 3-4-year-old, but your mind just thought it was a good idea to let that happen, I guess, Yeah.
Yeah.
And your parents were there as like as the insatiable, like, time capsule. Like, hey, remember when you did this embarrassing thing? Well, this is for you to know.
If only they've been carrying a tape recorder.
If only exactly. So that's where those songs, and I think honestly, I think because of coming up with those stupid songs, I guess, and being just being shamelessly me.
Yeah.
I think allowed me to I think that's where music became a safe space for me in middle school, high school, yada, yada.
Yeah.
Just because even though, of course, I was making an effort to contain myself, to not be completely so damn weird, but, that didn't really help. It was pretty futile,
Yeah.
I was still a weird kid, but earlier in my life that there was no containing that,
Yeah. Well, I was going to say, when I met you, you were probably like 20 already, right?
Right.
But so by that time, it seemed like you were pretty comfortably yourself.
Right.
Did you feel that way at the time?
Oh man. So you knew me at Co, right? Like you saw like my sartorial like failures, like the way I was just dressing up. Like I think one time, like I remember one time, like it was, at the end of every year, we had like our, so I remember on Thursday, recital hour, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
So every year in recital hour, they had like Lost and Found.
Okay.
Remember that?
Yeah. And it was like half your stuff.
Yeah, half my shit. Swear to God. So nobody had any questions. Like, okay, so we're auctioning. So, the normal things, right? Like, it could be, a cell phone case, yada, yada, or like a can of pop or whatever, or some loose. And then coming up to my shit, it was like 4 pairs of pants, a jacket, and like an extra large sweatshirt. I swear to God, I'm like, oh, that's mine. Yeah, that's mine. That's mine.
Yeah.
I was just like that absent-minded, just devil may care, like just completely aloof, but like, I don't know. It's because coming from high school to Co, I think I let some of those, I let some of those idiosyncrasies of myself just carry me over, hoping that would let me get a passing grade. That didn't work. I did just enough just to get by and get my damn diploma.
Yeah.
That I lost, by the way. I left it at ACT, my old job, so I need to get that back. But that's a whole ass other thing.
Now, well, there's no evidence that you finished college then, right?
There is not. As of right now, as of this recording, there's zero evidence. Unless you really wanted to reach out to like if you wanted to reach out to the registrar, and find out that way, I guess you could do that.
You'd have to like pay for a new one.
If someone really wanted to find out, did Duroje Gwamna graduate college?
I don't think I knew your middle name was Benedict.
Yeah, I also have Diaz.
I know it's a B, but I didn't know.
Yeah, Benedict. Yeah. And that's another. Yeah, you would have never thought. Do I look like a Benedict?
Named after Benedict Arnold.
That would be hilarious.
Your parents wanted you to be a traitor.
They really did. They're like, we're going to have you, as immigrants. They wanted to, find a way to tie me to the States. Let's name it after a traitor. No.
Yeah, a historical figure that everyone loves.
Everyone likes. Yeah. Hence, my painful growing up.
Yeah.
I'm kidding. But yeah, it's I think. But going back to like our college days, I appreciate you saying that because I know that I was trying to make an effort to get into composition, into music, and to try and
be a very serious person.
Be serious, yeah. To be serious enough, right?
But that was when I was trying to be serious too. I think college is the time for
college, exactly.
Where you pretend that you're going to be like a serious professional.
Serious professional.
Yeah.
But then again, it's like I think the powers that be, I think they were, even though they're older than us, I think they're also trying to do the same thing too. You know, they just had titles, you know, and they were professors and whatnot, and they did the best that they could too as well in trying to change it. But it's like, it's not to say that they weren't perfect. You know, they were great. I really appreciated my time there, you know, and I learned a lot from them too. But I feel like the reason that I wasn't expelled is because I think that they allowed me to make the mistakes that I made, you know, and like they can laugh about it later or whatever.
Well, what would they have expelled you for?
That's a good question.
You didn't like commit any crimes, did you?
That's true, right? I need to like clear myself. Like I am not, I'm not a serial whatever, you know. I'm not, I'm not trying to like. I didn't kill nobody or hurt nobody. But that's a good point. Expel is a true strong word, but
maybe fail or
exactly. Yeah. But I think that. I feel like I was, I feel like I was Will Smith from Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, just like this weird kid from West Philadelphia, into like
Mount Pleasant,
Mount Pleasant,
West
Philly.
Mount Pleasant,
exact same. Well, yeah, minus like the two black people that live there is essentially the same town, right? West Philly and Mount Pleasant.
You're from the black neighborhood.
From the black neighborhood, the black neighborhood. Street is a black neighborhood. Well, let's be honest, like every African person that was in the 20 mile radius of Mount Pleasant and that went to, Iowa Wesleyan, which we all know that closed down.
Right.
Basically any minority / immigrant family that lived around the area got to know the Gwamnas because they got free shit. You know, my mom and dad would like basically have them over and just, this would be like their second home. It's like when
They're very generous people.
Very generous. Yeah. It's like when you start Legends of Zelda, and you walk into that cave and they hand you a sword.
Yeah, that's my dad. Parents.
Yeah, my dad's like, listen,
handing everybody swords.
Listen, it's dangerous to go alone in Mount Pleasant. Please take this African sword or whatever. Oh, and by the way, have our fridge and have the contents in our fridge. That's where I get that.
That's really cool.
No, it's to an extent, right? I mean, it's cool.
To be their son and then see that over and over is maybe like, come on.
Yeah. Well, that's why I give away so much shit too, you know? I get that from my parents where like my mom and dad, like they're so hospitable. I love them to death, but it's like they will give their damn car to a freaking stranger. Like my dad be like, Duroje, you must come back home and you must give away your keys. Like, Dad, for what? Just listen. Just don't say any word. Don't ask any questions. Just drop off your keys. And then we'll see what happens. Like, Dad, you know, so that's.
Somebody needs your car.
Somebody needs your car, you know, and what will be, you know.
Did that really happen?
No, but actually, no. Actually, when I borrowed my mom and dad's car, ironically, I think they asked me to, you know, to lend their keys back to the person that needed it more than I did because I was just frankly just going to go to Walmart and buy some candy. So let's be honest. But
yeah.
No, but, you know, I'm thankful for our college days. I definitely, you know, there are times I'm like, damn, did I spend all that money just to like goof around, make some silly songs together, right? Try to learn counterpoint and all these things, have a 2-year failed relationship, you know, meet a lot of these interesting people. And, you know, we have our respective music sort of paths that we've carved for ourselves. Mm-hmm. Here.
We just fist bumped.
We had to fist bump. But at the same time, it's like, would we have been right to assume that was going to be like our bread and butter? Like, were we going to, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, were we going to?
I mean, I don't think I was ever,
philosophically speaking,
I don't think I was ever deluded enough to think that would really probably happen. I don't know, but like I did.
Yeah, like I'll ask you, like, when you went into co, like, what were you thinking? Like, not what were you thinking being a music composition major, but like from your old man, what were you thinking? No, I'm kidding.
Well, I guess, you know, I was like, oh, there's a water softener filling up in the basement. Okay. So if you hear a little hiss, everyone listening, that's just what happens when you record in your home. Well, your parents are college professors, both of them, right?
Yes, they were. But yes, that's correct.
But the college is gone now.
Yes, that is
they had already retired, right?
Yes, rest in peace, Iowa Wesleyan.
Yeah. Anyway, so for you, it was probably like college was like a given, right?
It was very much so.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's kind of the same for me. Like, it didn't feel like not going to college was like an option. Like, I was smart enough. Like, I did well in school all the way through until then. So it was like college was like, yeah, you're going. Mm-hmm. I never was like, I don't really want to or anything. But it was like the only thing I was interested in at all was music, right? Mm-hmm. So I just like, I applied to one school for one thing.
Yeah, this is the thing, right?
Like it's not so much that I thought like, oh, I'm going to be a successful composer. It's just like, this is the only thing that at all holds my interest right now.
Wow.
Aside from, I can't go to college for World of Warcraft.
Yeah, right. I mean, knowing these days anymore, I mean, anything's possible. I mean,
Right,
like,
there are esports.
There are
teams
esports,
now.
yeah. God, could you imagine if there were esports while we were at Co? We'd be screwed. I'm telling you. I would have no time for my Beethoven paper, my 1520 page Beethoven paper, because I'd be playing Smash all the time.
Right.
No,
yeah.
but I get that completely. Like, and like, I think similar to your like path to going to college, and there was no ifs, ands, or buts about it. It was the same. There was no trade school. There was no Job Corps Peace. I mean, there was Peace Corps as an opportunity because my parents did something like that in Nigeria.
Right.
But it was like, your ass is going to school, like point blank.
Yeah.
But there was also the other caveat too, on top of that. So a big thing, especially like in third world countries like Nigeria, I don't want to speak for other places too, but especially like in Africa, Nigeria, like if you weren't going to be a doctor, if you weren't going to be a lawyer, if you weren't going to be a scientist, then what the hell are you doing? So you can imagine my parents.
Wait, is Nigeria third world?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. It is. If you look at the Gini index.
I mean, not that I've ever been there or really studied this, but I've heard Nigeria is like the biggest economy in Africa, right?
It is.
Okay.
Correct. It is the number one. So fun fact. I think Nigeria is 200 million people.
Yeah.
It is the most populous country in Africa.
Okay.
In let alone West Africa, obviously. But I think second might be Egypt or Ethiopia, I think. And that's another thing too. Living in an African household, you better know all 53 African countries. We had to do that.
Chad.
Yeah, right. Namibia, right.
I know some.
Yeah. So you best believe Tunde will at least know half of them, and then Tunde will learn whatever he wants. But like, that's the thing though. Like I love what my parents were trying to do to get me to focus on like the bigger thing, right? Which was at least to get, to be better suited in this country more so than they were. They didn't really have much help when they did get help, but there's only so much they could do by themselves with 4 kids. I mean, and especially not fully understanding the mores of like, and they lucked out too, because they lived in the Midwest. Can you imagine if they lived like in the South or the coast? It'd be kind of sink or swim, right?
In terms of money, definitely.
In terms of money, right?
Yeah.
And in terms of just like the Midwestern kindness or whatever.
Well,
I know that's,
that's not universal.
No, it ain't. That could be saved for the Rock Hard Caucus, right? But
hey, I mean, they've merged now, so essentially we can get into politics.
We certainly, no, for real though. But when it came to expectations and such, they definitely instilled in us, hey, we want you to we want you to be really serious about your future. Macroscopically speaking, that's really what the focus was for me. And they definitely put a lot of effort into me just because I was the oldest. And like we alluded to too, like me being frankly on the spectrum, I need a lot of like guidance.
Sure.
Looking back, I definitely did, just because I would have these fleeting moments. Like I want to play Pokemon, or, I want to play my instrument, or I want to do all these different things that would hold my interest or whatever. I'll start something and then I'll, it's like chasing cars, like it's so like, I see all these fleeting interests here and there. And like, it was really something that I needed from my parents, I think, just to get me to really think about my future, because living at home, in high school, that was a given, obviously, because that's, I was in high school, yada, yada. But when you get to college, things are going to be a little bit more incumbent on what you decide to do. Ultimately it's going to fall on you. Yeah. And I don't know, but at the same time, like, I love music, man. That was one of the first times where this is what I wanted to do, and like maybe as like a fallback, there was computers, because I love that stuff too, which my mom and dad really wanted me to get into also. But I'm like, man, I want to be a music teacher. I want to be like James the Priest, but, was that first semester, I'm like, I cannot imagine teaching that little kid Jimmy with the braces to play trumpet. There's no freaking way. I love my teachers to death, but that was a sign, like, I am not cut out to teach like this, because I don't have no patience or like the organizational skills. There's no way.
Yeah.
So like, but yeah, with composition, I feel like thanks to you, John Mills, all these folks, Carson, Dangerfield, that got me to at least hone my craft a little bit, and
You focused on one thing.
for a
little bit, yeah.
Yeah. It didn't matter that it wasn't chemistry, pre-med, all these things that I really had no interest in, even though that it was probably going to be more, that was going to pad my wallets compared to, writing music or whatever. Can you imagine, if you went into school into something that like business, I can't imagine us as business majors. There's no freaking way.
No.
We will probably, know enough of the link, know enough to get by, but the interest would not hold us.
No.
You know what I mean? I can speak for myself at least, but I probably would assume for,
no. I don't think I could handle, I don't know. I can't handle any any school besides what I did. I don't think.
Right. Because that's what we,
But I think I get something that you're saying is regardless of what subject you were focused on, it taught you to be able to focus on something for an extended period of time. And I got the same thing. Like up to that point, I had never really studied.
Yeah.
I got through, high school, with very little effort. And I was kind of just relying on just being smart enough, And then in college, I had to actually
crank down,
learn how to spend time working on something instead of just knowing how to do it easily.
Yes.
Other than calculus, that was hard in high school.
Oh, dude, yeah, calculus.
You ever take a calculus class?
No, dude. Actually, I'm a nerd. Actually, I don't know if you've. This might be free advertising for the Khan Academy, but I learned about calculus through the Khan Academy a few years ago.
Okay.
Learned about derivatives and integrals, and it was kind of.
That's where you did your programming classes.
Yeah, okay. Essentially, yeah.
Yeah.
That's a whole other thing too. Yeah. And that was the thing. I think it's one thing I think with school where I struggled is that when people kind of ascribe, you're going to learn X, Y, and Z. Well, if you're putting this in front of me and you expect me to consume it, it's kind of like with the leading the horse to water and you're expecting me to drink this too. And it's obviously I know that I have to consume this in order to succeed in life or in order for the horse to be able to trot along or whatever, not be thirsty. But it wasn't, I didn't voluntarily choose this.
You're not thirsty.
I'm not thirsty, right?
Yeah.
Even though it's kind of like with, with a child, with Tunde, it's hey, eat the goddamn brownie or, eat these,
force feeding your baby brownies, huh?
Right? I know. That's another thing. Sarah's probably going to hear this. I love our son to death, but he eats the worst shit. He'll eat Cheetos and all that stuff, but that's the shit that he'll eat. You know what I mean? That's all,
If you get him to eat,
if you get him to eat, that's what he'll want or whatever. But he'll drink his water and all that kind of stuff. But it's it's kind of like that same thing, it's he'll eat when he wants to eat or whatever, but it's we have to remember too, it's kind of we kind of had to meet him where he's at. We can't force feed him stuff or else we're going to waste all that food or whatever. Mm-hmm. Obviously, K through 12, obviously, there's only so much wiggle room, freedom or whatever that a student's going to have. You can't be a kindergarten and be you know what? I don't want to learn about shapes. I don't want to learn about the eighth. I don't want to learn about I don't want to learn about my letters and numbers.
Is that how Montessori schools work?
I wonder. It's can I draw this picture instead, or can I pick up a? I don't know.
I really don't know. I've heard it's a little more self-directed.
Exactly, and that's exactly it. I think with college is definitely more self-direction that I was. That it was nice to get in high school to an extent too with music. That was one of the only times where I was able to be you know what? I'm going to do jazz band, concert band, yada, yada, for sure. Mm-hmm. And the other stuff that I
was definitely blowing off other stuff.
Yeah. Oh, definitely.
In favor of music at the time.
Yeah. No, but, no, it's, I forgot where but yeah, as far as school and stuff like that, what I've learned, it said is obviously it's not for, the idea that, the college experience may not be for everybody, but mm-hmm. if there's something that that a kid wants to do, or really, if there's an avenue for it and college is the way to do it, why not? Check it out, but at the same time, it's it's not the only way,
right?
And that's something that, I wish I had that hold on loosely, but don't let go sort of thing about it,
Yeah, I had no perspective about it. It was well, this is the path in front of me. I guess I'll do this. My only option in life.
Right.
We've been going for almost half an hour and we haven't played any music. So we should play something.
Yeah.
But then I have another avenue for us to go down with that school discussion.
Yeah. What you got?
So on your bio, it mentions that one of your musical projects, you play trombone in a No Doubt tribute band
my God,
called
yes.
Faux Doubt.
Yes.
And I saw recently that Faux Doubt put something up on Spotify.
Yes, sir.
And you played on that, right?
I sure did.
Okay, good. So it's a cover of Spiderwebs by No Doubt. And it's by Cedar Rapids based, right?
That's correct.
Tribute band Faux Doubt. So yeah, if you're a fan of Gwen Stefani and the fellas, here's a local group that plays their songs, and they've got Spiderwebs up on Spotify now. So let's listen to that, and we can maybe talk about it for a minute after.
Sounds good.
All right, that was Spiderwebs. Whoa. There it goes again. That was Spiderwebs by Fode Out, originally written and performed by No Doubt on their 1995 album Tragic Kingdom. And the trombonist in that recording is sitting across from me now, Duroje Gwamna. Have you guys recorded anything else besides that?
I think that's the only thing that we've recorded. We had there is the music video that we did in our drummer's sister's bedroom. That was pretty fun.
Oh, I don't think I saw that.
Yeah.
A video for this song.
A video for that one. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you put that on YouTube or something like that, or I could share it with you. Yeah. And then I can share so there's I can tell you some of the people that were part of it are part of the Fode Out. So you got Tristan Dockner, who plays drums, Don Sedlacek, who is our Glenn, Cornell VZ, he is the bass player. I think you went to school with him, didn't you?
I did. I went to high school with him. Yep.
Yeah.
We were in Japanese class together.
Yes. And then Darren Barker, he's a guitar player and backup singer, one hell of a singer, amazing musicians. And then one of my best friends, Jessica Palmer, playing trumpet on the show. And then this Saturday, you'll be able to catch us at where the hell? God, what's that place? Riverside Casino.
That's this Saturday?
This Saturday.
So the 14th?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Like I said, I'm releasing this on the 22nd, so maybe I'll post something about that ahead of time.
No, you're good. Oh, yeah.
So if you're listening now, you missed the show.
Yeah. It was such a good time, man. I'm so sore, man. We're going to be, we opened for Earth, Wind, and Fire. An Earth, Wind, and Fire cover band.
Okay, I was going to say, that's pretty serious.
I know, right? I'd be freaking out. Their group is called Shining Star from Chicago.
Cool.
Yeah, man. No, honestly, it's a great group, man. Honestly, everybody just has a good time. It's just a lot of fun stuff to play. I've never really, with Soul Sherpa, we a lot of original stuff. With Fode Out, it's interesting, I've never been in a cover band before.
And Soul Sherpa is a band that Duroje used to be in, by the way.
Yep. And there's
also on trombone.
And they're still out there doing stuff too.
Yeah, they sure are.
After 8 years. So props to them.
It's been a while. Yeah. Way back when I was on the radio, I did an episode with, I think, 3 of them. I know Ian was there and Nico, I think.
Probably like Hank or Lucas or one of those folks. Or
I think it was Lucas. It's been a long time.
A long time. Yeah. Isn't that crazy? My goodness.
Yeah.
No, man. For that longevity for local groups that's pretty big. Honestly, So I got to give it to them,
It's a lot of people on stage. So
it's like, I always joked, it's kind of like Wu-Tang, It's just like, Cedar Rapids Wu-Tang, but yeah. No, I'm trying to get you actually, Justin, for a saxophone future. I think the band was low key open to it.
Yeah.
So, I don't know what the next year is going to look like.
Yeah, because you just got trombone and trumpet now, right?
Trombone and trumpet, yeah. So I bet there's a song or two that could probably use some, extra hornage.
Yeah, I mean, I know that No Doubt had a full horn section sometimes, right?
Yeah. But yeah, and that's the thing too. There's sometimes that, where, everyone's doing background stuff if I'm not really playing nothing. So, it's nice to feel
you get a lot of breaks in a ska band as a trombonist.
Dude, I need to make sure that my wife or my son has my phone. So I'm not I'm not a bad, band.
On stage looking at your phone.
It's mess this shit over.
That's funny.
No. But yeah, man, it's Fode. I've been doing it for 4 years. This would be the second time I think that I played with them, on stage or whatever.
Right.
But yeah, I think because with COVID, that's definitely been the big, snafu for a lot of folks. But yeah. It's been cool. They've been going for 4 or 5 years now. Mm-hmm. Heck yeah.
We were talking about school before.
We were talking about school.
Something I was thinking about, but I didn't want to open up the topic before we played some music.
What's up?
So the student loan payments are supposed to have started, right? Did you pay it?
Listen, you want to know something funny? So if unless Biden or whoever our next president's going to be, that's a whole nother thing.
So Donald Trump.
Most likely, yeah. That motherfucker. You're not kidding.
Well, you're not kidding.
Yeah, no, I'm not kidding. Right? As far as the feds know, I think I still make $16 an hour. So, I mean,
hopefully the IRS doesn't listen to this.
Yeah. Oh,
or the Department of Education. I don't even
for
know
both of our sakes.
Who would even care?
Like, right? Rock Hard Caucus is going down.
Hey, it wouldn't be the first time a government official said the name of our podcast.
Can you imagine like 15 like unmarked cars in front of your house or whatever? You know,
hey, I've been afraid of it before.
I mean,
the Johnson County Sheriff is coming for my
I'm telling you, man, you need to get. I will install. I swear to God, I will install what the hell is that called? That Ring doorbell for you?
A spy camera.
A spy camera. Yeah. Right. It's like, I wasn't sure how you feel about it, but man, I'd do it for you just so that, you know.
I don't like the Amazon thing.
I hear you.
Like, I don't want to, because they store the video like on some kind of cloud service, don't they?
They do. Actually, you know what? You may not be wrong about that. I think
if I were to do some like hardcore surveillance system on my house, I would want it to be all internal.
I think knowing like how
closed,
you're kind of closed circuit, right?
Yeah, closed circuit. I think.
I bet you could probably honestly get that done. Not that I would have you spend $1,000 on.
I don't think it's that expensive.
No, you could probably.
I mean, I don't really want to do it.
I was like, I don't want to do this, right? But you're a DIYer. You know, I feel like you'd be able to get something pretty. You know, you can probably get something pretty robust and not crazy money, you know, boom, 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 and you're set.
Just hit the corners, yeah.
Hit the corners, yeah. But yeah, can you imagine Donald Trump be like, you know, Justin Comer and then, Ashley Black over there in his trombone, just talking about student loans. I do a terrible Trump, so. But no, so as far as.
Anyway, I haven't paid it either.
I haven't paid shit. Honestly, well, that's the thing too. So when I did Habitat for Humanity, I did it was an AmeriCorps stint that I did 2 years after I graduated.
Yep.
I had no business on the construction site. I mean, that was just really, it was on the job.
Neither do most people who do that.
Neither do most people, but listen, I was useless. Like I had no reason swinging a hammer. I had no business doing any of that stuff. But I mean, I got paid minimum wage and I got $5,000 towards student loans or whatever, you know, that I could put toward my student loans, which I did like a foolish person instead of putting that towards like a certificate. Cause guess what? Every dollar of those student loans went towards my interest.
Yeah, exactly.
Like I'm like, dude, like what's the freaking point, you know? So like, it just felt like I was just hemorrhaging this when I could have put towards like a class or something. You know, what gives? So.
Or, you know, $5,000, you can get a nice, anything.
A nice anything. Exactly. Right. Shit. I wore myself, man. Treat myself. So, I got something, you know, because good old, you know, because, we kind of fumbled the bet on that whole, you know, hey, we'll pay off your student loans $20,000.
Yeah, but, right. The president said that was going to happen.
He said it was going to happen, but without getting too deep into it, I think people are like, oh, well, I was supposed to get this, but you know, but I didn't get it, so nobody else should get it or whatever. Yeah. And that's kind of what happened. It's like, oh, great. So I hope that they don't have Facebook because I'm sure they'll get bombarded with like whatever. But anyway, I got something in the mail saying like, hey, you owe $0.00 this month.
Because you got something in the mail.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I got something in the mail saying like, hey, this is what your next payment's going to be because I think they still think that I make.
I wonder if they don't know what my address is then.
Oh yeah, let's keep it that way.
Because I never got anything.
You didn't get shit. Yeah, keep it that way, dog. Yeah,
I got some emails, but it's been a while.
It's like one of those things where after next year, I think that my payments are going to be bumped up to like a few $100s. I'm like, God, all right, here we go.
Yeah,
but it's like, yeah, man, it just feels like it's like a prison sentence in my opinion. You know, it's dumb. Like I was looking forward to not having to worry about like this chunk of money or whatever.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I have enjoyed not having to pay it.
I have enjoyed it. Thank you.
3.5 years.
Like, it's not our fault that the way that how predatory the whole thing has been, you know, and like, you know what I mean? It's ridiculous. But
yeah. I mean, that's what was looming over that conversation we had in the last segment. I was like,
we
probably screwed ourselves for life by going to college.
We kind of, like low key, high key, right? But let's kind of hope that. I mean, that's the thing. I know some people that have not had to worry about it. Like, kudos to them. But like for a lot of folks, you know, that are in our position, it's like, I do worry just because that's a huge chunk of money. You know what I mean?
And I'm afraid to do, there's like, I forget what they call it, but they made like a new program where you can like, set your payment based on what your income is, you know, and it's supposed to lower it.
It's supposed to.
But I've seen so many people who they did it, and they ended up with a higher payment.
up, really?
And it's like, well, I don't want to do it then.
I don't want to do it. Right.
I don't want to tell you anything because I don't know what'll happen.
And that's the thing. I think that they're going off of like what they had in the books before. I think when we did like the initial, like, hey, the $10,000-$20,000 off or whatever.
Right.
I ain't going to tell them that,
because I did fill something out when they said they were going to.
Oh, really?
When they said they were going to forgive it.
When they said they were going to forgive it. Right.
I applied for that. Yeah.
I would just, stay mum, man. Mum's the word, and like, if, cause who knows what's going to happen. Like, my wife's kind of optimistic about it. She's like, who knows what's going to happen or whatever.
Yeah,
but like, yeah, man. I mean, there are times I'm like, man, like, what if I just like die? No, I'm kidding. I have a son. I better be here for him. It's like,
I mean, but that's real. Like, it's hard not to.
not to think that nuclear option. Like, what if I just like. Disappear. You know what I mean? Like federally disappear.
Yeah,
they don't know. Right.
What if I, whatever it was called in Breaking Bad, what's the vacuum repairman?
Yes. I think we might have, talked.
That's very expensive.
Exactly. That might be as much as our student loans or whatever. But no, man, do you just ever just think to yourself, like, it's despite like how like in 2020, we may or may not have like averted said disaster, but it's like you look back with COVID and stuff like that. It's like, have things really gotten much better? Without getting too deep, you know what I mean?
I mean, we can get as deep as you want. Like,
it's like I try not to think about it because I don't want to think about what the other alternative would have been, because like that would have been pretty bad too.
Yeah.
But it's like, damn. I mean, like, I think I still get real pissed off thinking about early 2020 when we had a chance to have our boy Bernie.
Yeah, I know.
I think about that. I think a lot about that every time that there's like a debate or whatever.
Yeah. I mean, like, February of 2020 was awesome, and then March was terrible, and life has been not great since.
I mean, could you imagine? Like,
yeah, I mean, like, obviously, I was a heavy Bernie supporter.
Oh yeah, I see your sticker, and I love it.
Oh yeah, it's on my laptop still.
Not me, us.
Like, still would be vastly superior to either option we were presented. But have you been paying attention to this Israel stuff?
Oh, God. Yeah, I know. I have.
Awful. And every U.S. politician, including Bernie, is like, this was an unprovoked attack on Israel. It's like, how can you say this?
How can you say this? Exactly.
How can you lie to us so blatantly?
Yeah, it's exactly like we're all like, yeah, it's bad, but it's like, dude, like let's be real here. Like you saw, like, now you're gonna. It's all too convenient if you ask me. Just like how this all went down the way that it did. You know what I mean? Like it's unfortunate, but it's like this whole pro-Israel stuff. Like this is
the topic where we can really get in trouble.
Like, yeah, it is. It is. Yeah. Oh, yeah. So if any folks that are pro-Israel, like I don't condone any of this crap that's happening. It sucks. You know what I mean? Like, it's awful. But yeah, it's, when I saw that on CNN or whatever, I'm like, okay, I better log off for a second because I need to be prepared for today. I've been looking forward to this.
It doesn't matter what we say about this.
It does not matter.
No.
But no.
I support the Palestinian liberation efforts.
Hell yeah, me too. The strip.
And it's going to be difficult.
It's going to be extremely
no matter what
difficult.
happens. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing that I just, between the Ukraine crap, this, and, with the Goombas that we have that are going to be, that are in the runnings for 2024. And, we don't have, it's like, I'll go this far. Like have you ever been to the remember when you're at the Cafe Co? You know what I mean?
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. So I
stole a few meals from that place.
I've stolen so much. Okay. Here's a tip for anybody that's in school. So what you do, you take your bag of bread or bagels, you take the last bagel, don't eat it. And then you go to like your little cereal thing and you fill it up. And like so how like they have the handle, you bring it down. And
so you're filling like a bagel.
You fill a bagel bag with cereal.
Yeah.
I've done it with, I've done it with Captain Crunch. I've done it with, Captain Crunch, Lucky Charms. I think Peggy has caught me like 2-3 times. Like, listen, I pay $8 every time I come through here. I'm not stealing. Like, if anything, I'm helping you guys out by not wasting food. Okay. So,
true.
And plus, I'm poor. You know what I mean?
Some of this Captain Crunch was going to go to the dumpster anyway.
Exactly. Right. That would have been great. But, no, so anyway, like when we were at, like, it's like when the reason I bring up the calf is
right.
you look at the choices, and I shouldn't speak ill of the calf now because it's come a long way. But when we were in school, it was not great some days. You know, you're like, okay, so I have some stuff that's been kind of baked onto like the sheet or whatever, and you have this, that or whatever.
Yeah, school food,
you know, and it's like, how are we supposed to be excited about these options? You know, like, you know, as a college student is, you know, and like, I know that's a terrible segue as far as American politics, but you know, it's hard to be like jazzed about. Then again, it's like when you look at like the alternative, which I'm tired of, like, you know, the left or whatever being like, hey, well, we're the lesser of two evils, right?
Sure.
But you know, it's like, damn.
Yeah, I mean,
how often how long is this going to keep going? You know what I mean?
I wouldn't even want to use the term the left in this case.
It's not the left. It's like the center right. It's the center right, which is left compared to, you know, we're about to fall off the seesaw right.
Right.
You know, which, that's center right, if not right. You know, and that's the thing that scares me. It's like, you know, ever since 2020 happened, it's like, okay, cool. Okay, I'll actually, here's an apt way I'll describe this. Mm-hmm. It's like when we switched from MediaCom to CenturyLink. Right. When we lived in Iowa City. Like, we were not going to go to MediaCom. MediaCom was Trump, right?
Right.
But CenturyLink, it was like slightly better, but there was
Joe Biden.
It was Joe Biden. Thank you.
Yeah.
You know, like, they didn't have the terrible customer service. Can you imagine Donald Trump on the phone? MediaCom, this is Donald Trump. I'm sorry. You know, can you imagine that, you know?
MediaCom Trump. That's a great new character for us.
MediaCom Trump. Oh my God. Can you imagine him with his little MediaCom shirt? Especially, you know, like if he does end up like, you know, losing or whatever, which is not going to happen or whatever, or going to jail again, working at MediaCom would be hilarious. But anyway, Joe Biden is like having CenturyLink. You know what I mean? Like, it's, you know, he's on Bernie, you know, but it's like, you know,
I'm on his Bernie.
I'm on his Bernie, you know, I'm on, not me, us, I'm on, you know, can you imagine? No, so this might get us into trouble. We on, but we can at least, we can at least admit that MediaCom is a bad man.
Oh yeah, the worst. The worst.
You know what I mean? Nobody's had,
and I pay for their service.
God, good Lord. You know what I mean? It's like, but you don't. But when we had CenturyLink, it's like, man, like I'm not burning bras to this either. You know, like I'm not like, is
burning bras like a celebration?
Yeah, burning bras. Okay. Yeah, I'm not like, you know, thank you. I'm not like, you know, throwing like what's it called? I'm not like throwing confetti for this either. You know, it's okay. Mm-hmm. It's not the fastest, but it's not MediaCom, I guess. You know, that's kind of like their.
It's not a bad metaphor, actually.
Thank you.
Because, you know, like cable companies, it's not quite as monopolistic now as it used to be.
Yeah, it's not as monopolistic. Yeah,
yes. It is still like, you know, you may have 2 to 3 choices that are all pretty bad.
Dude, it's funny.
It's American politics. You know, it's because it's all part of the same.
It's all part of the same
system, which runs everything.
You know, it's funny you say that. Well, not funny, but it's interesting because, like,
I think it's funny.
Well, no, I think it's well. Last week, Justin, I was actually thinking about like a lot of times, you know, for like on a brief aside to music, like when I think about like a lot of like whether I think a lot of philosophical ideas or whatever, and I think about something kind of pithy, and I'm like, oh, that sounds like a great album title. One idea I thought about was The Illusion of Choice.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, you know, just because, you know, anymore, it's whether like, I don't know. I just been thinking a lot of times when I go somewhere, and like, for instance, like Walmart's a great example where it's like, you know, I'm looking for all these different things or whatever, you know, but it's like, really, it's the same 4 or 5 things I always get. You know what I mean? Like, my mind's conditioned to get ice cream, fries, you know, yada, yada, yada. And I'm always grabbing.
That's sort of the nutritional pyramid.
The nutritional period. Thank you.
Ice cream and fries.
Ice cream. Yeah. No, you should come to our house.
Bottom level.
Yeah. You know, if you see how Tunde eats, we eat like that too. He gets it from
He learns
somewhere.
it from, yeah.
But it's like, but on a broader, more obviously, more like stakes are high sort of thing. It is the illusion of choice, you know, where it's funny how like during November we tell people, yeah, just go out and vote. But really, we want you to vote for the people we think you should vote for. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, you know, like that, obviously, you know, amongst like-minded folk, when we tell people to go to vote, we're not going to tell like our hip hip hooray, you know, like right, you know, conservative folks, yeah, you should go out and vote, you know what I mean, or whatever. I'm not going to tell it to those people. We're going to vote anyway. But like amongst folks that like are the most disenfranchised or whatever, you know, and you know where we believe our candidate is for that people, you know, for those people, absolutely, you know. But it's like at the end of the day, you know, with like the two lame food choices that you have, Mediacom or CenturyLink, you know, it's hard to like, talk yourself into telling people to do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It gets harder and harder.
I think I can take that metaphor to another
Please
level.
do. Cause I'm running out.
The options at the big grocery stores are not flavorful and nutritional enough. We got to start making our own food.
Damn right.
You know, we got to tend to our gardens.
Yes, we do got to tend to our gardens, you know, and like it's, you know, and it's like, that's the thing. It's like, how does one, like, do we just wait for like our crop, some of these crops to germinate? Like, say if we got like younger, like Bernie, obviously, you know, that rutabaga's been ready.
The young
man. Yeah. That, you know, that crop's been ready, man. But like, you got folks like, I don't know, like, you know, well, have you heard, you know, like, AOC, I don't know, that's a good example anymore, right? Or someone close, or someone, you know what I mean? Someone that could be like Bernie that was younger, we're, you know, waiting for that crop to germinate. Like, do we have to wait?
I don't know, man. Yeah, it's like participation in national politics is pretty fruitless.
Oh, it is extremely, well, that's the thing. I think that's the thing. I think, and that's actually, I'm glad you bring that up because I think there's nothing more futile than trying to stake your hopes, especially with like the crop that we have now, you know, nationally, there's no way. Like obviously there's folks that you know that you don't want to put your, like, they hang your hat on. It's sad that it's easier to think deductively than inductively, you know?
Yeah.
You know, unfortunately.
But that's realistic. At least you're not deluding yourself.
That's true. Like, you know, you don't want to be like, you don't want to like, nobody wants to feel like they want to bite the bullet. But ultimately, obviously, when it comes to election day, you know, of course, we're probably, it's hard to resist the undercurrent. You're like, damn it, fine, I'll go. But like, when it comes, you know, who knows, right? No shit. But when it comes to like when you get down to state politics or when you get down to like the more, municipal, it's a lot more, it feels a lot more real, I think, right?
Yeah.
To an extent, right?
It's real because you probably know some of the people on the ballot.
Like John Green, right?
I know John.
Yeah.
You know, I had him on Rock Hard Caucus.
Oh, you did?
Like,
that's right.
Back when he won that first primary.
That's right. Yeah.
We interviewed him. It was good. You know, I felt like I had a good relationship with him. But we can get real about this. All right. So once he was elected, there was really like one major thing that I had an issue with. Okay. There was this like budget request thing from the sheriff's office. They wanted like hundreds of thousands of dollars to get new body cameras. Oh. And like new, because they already had cameras. They wanted new equipment to upgrade their body camera system. Now, part of his campaign when he was initially running, he like name checked the Iowa Freedom Riders, which was that, you know, that group, you know, protesting the cops and stuff. And, you know, this like defund the police, abolish the police type people, you know, he was doing lip service to stuff like that, including on our show. Oh, you know, like, because, you know, we that's the position that we were taking. Absolutely. And we were like, how do you feel about this stuff? You know, absolutely. And he was like, you know, pretty agreeable to it. So I was like, all right, right on, dude.
Right on.
But then, you know, this thing comes up with the sheriffs, and he's one of two supervisors who voted to give them the full amount that they were asking for. It's like, man, dude, what was like the whole point was not to give them more money.
Exactly. Right. That's right. Like, you know, it's not like, right. You know,
there are good things that he's done in office.
Absolutely.
He was a big pusher for some of the COVID, like ARPA relief funds going to what's called excluded workers, which includes like undocumented people who live in the county, because like they're not in the system, so they weren't getting any of those relief checks that we got. You know, so they should get some money. They live here. Yeah, and he pushed that, and it was successful. So that's a great thing. That's good. But that cop thing just like really turned off a lot of people. Oh, and why wouldn't it? I mean, let's be honest. Like, what was it? It was 2020 when shit just went down. You know, if we're gonna talk about some real stuff, I mean, I remember during Rock Hard Caucus stuff, man. Like, I was worried for you, man. I was really worried for you just because I felt like they were just kind of unhinged. Yeah, you know, well, so was I.
Well, but you know,
Wait, what do you mean? What do you mean?
Unhinged against you guys.
Oh, you mean the cops and the people protesting?
Yeah, not you guys. You guys were fine.
Well, I was out of my mind for a while.
For a second, yeah. I mean, I was checking just making sure that you got back in one piece and stuff. And,
yeah.
You know, but you guys, it's not like you guys weren't. It wasn't some frivolous stuff. You guys were talking about. Yeah. You know, can you imagine like if it were like? Can you imagine if it were just like some? Not alt-right people in Iowa City or whatever. That would not fly. Just to an extent. Mostly would not fly.
I mean, there are conservatives around here and there are Nazis around here.
Which scares the shit out of me, you know. But like, as far as like the bubble that we live in, relatively speaking, I mean, I guess it's easier to say that in 2020. Now it seems like anymore, even Iowa City is just kind of like this like indigo little place rather than the blue stronghold it used to be to an extent.
Yeah. I mean, I think the Democratic Party is still pretty powerful in Johnson County, but, yeah, I mean, this is certainly not it's not a progressive oasis in the way that people like to talk about it.
That's what I'm saying. You know? Yeah, it's not right. It's not like Berkeley or Oakland. You know what I mean? It's not like Asheville, North Carolina. You know what I mean? It's got that Iowa. It's got that Iowa. This neo Iowa thanks to our governor. That as far as how she's tainted it. It's kind of like how you put on that sepia lens. That's kind of what the state looks like now, with like a red shade. But, it's like, when this shit was going down, right, a few years ago, I was just, it was really kind of awakening where you got to see people's true colors. People that were like bitching about the graffiti or whatever rather than like the cause as to why you guys were marching, and yeah, like, the George Floyd stuff was definitely a big wake up call. And, I don't think I told you this. Now this might get my ass into trouble. Let's go. Do you remember that guy named King Nazi a few years ago?
Right. You used to work with him or something?
I did. Right. Well, guess who reached out to me a few years ago?
How recently?
Like 2 years ago.
Okay. We might have talked about it. I don't remember.
So it scared me because like he called me fella. I think he might have meant to call me.
We definitely talked about this. I don't know if it was on mic, but we've talked about this.
Yeah. It scared crap out of me because I could tell he was probably trying not to say the word he probably wanted.
Yeah, he backspaced and wrote in fella.
Yeah, he's like, I better like, he's probably thinking, I probably shouldn't say
this down a notch.
I probably shouldn't say this to this fella, but he wrote like these giant paragraphs of like, I've done nothing wrong to your family, fella, blah, 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 yada, yada. And like this dude, I never thought that he was capable of such, when they're talking about still waters run deep, they weren't playing. Like this guy, I never thought that he would roll up Iowa City, call himself King Nazi for God's sakes.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken, and then again, I don't know.
Yeah, he was like making threats to my friends, Oliver and Juliet too.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's not, yeah. I mean, so I'm like, dude, it scared me because if he lives in Mount Pleasant, so do my parents, I mean, and my parents, they're, God forbid anything happened to them, and that got me kind of freaked out for a second. But yeah, man, I mean, looking back during the COVID years, and obviously, I feel like there's going to be another reckoning here next year with, national politics and stuff, but it's, I'm just trying to enjoy what I have right now until it gets really bad, I guess. If I can say that, I don't know, man.
Optimism, dude.
Trying to be, right?
Let's listen to some music again, right? Because this is the music show, not the politics show.
That's right. It is a music show. Sorry about that.
Although it's no. I was participating as well.
That's right.
Like I said, the shows have merged now, so it's like we can talk about whatever at any time.
Oh yeah.
But music, all right.
What you got?
An Iowa City band called Early Girl, they released a single recently called Evil Head.
All right.
This was released on October 1st. You can find their music at earlygirl.bandcamp.com. And I had a good conversation with their bassist like a week or two ago, Talera. That was fun. We had never really spoken, so it was nice to meet someone. So here's their song, Early Girl, Evil Head. Is it like Evil Dead? I don't know.
I'm assuming.
Probably. Here we go.
Oh, you bastards! Why are you torturing me like this? Why? Set
That was Evil Head by Early Girl. Aaron,
Wow.
Talera, August. Great band. It's been a while since I've seen them live, but
Are they from Iowa City?
yeah, they're in Iowa City. They play at Gabe's and Trumpet Blossom and stuff all the time.
That was awesome.
Yeah, they're great. That was also, they have the full credits here on Bandcamp. Let me just say, the recording and mixing was by my friend Dan Miller. He's great. He's got a studio out in West Liberty. And mastered by Abe Anderson, who I don't think I know, but everybody did a great job on that song. It sounds awesome.
Wow.
Good lyrics, good music, etc.
Do you remember, this one actually, it reminds me, you remember watching the movie Scott Pilgrim?
I never watched that, actually.
Oh, man. I think you would like it. It reminded me of the band Sex Bob-Ombs. From
Sex Bob-Ombs. Oh, yeah. I remember that.
Yeah. It's definitely got that, like, kind of like crunch, like that punchy, crunchy kind of, I don't know. I forget what the adjective is, but it's got that energy or whatever to it.
Yeah.
I like it. It also reminds me like of, like a band that you hear from like Portland from Portlandia. That's good shit.
Like grungy.
Yeah, really grungy. Yeah.
Hey, let's look at the tags that they put on here. Alternative. Bruce Campbell. Evil Dead. Hey, I think there was an Evil Dead reference in there.
Yeah.
Indie pop, indie rock, post punk, power pop. Raimi, like Sam Raimi, the director. Yeah. Riot Girl, Slay, Spooky.
Would I be remiss to throw in like lo-fi shoegaze in there too?
I think kinda, yeah. There was some like effects on the vocals and stuff.
In terms of this is gonna sound really nerdy and like really just like kind of special in my head, but like in terms of like the chords that they use, like going from
Why don't you tell me the chord progression?
I will be more than happy to. I like how they're going from B to A to B to A. B major. Yeah. Yeah. Could you flesh it out there for me?
It's hard to do with one hand.
Oh, I guess it did. Oh yeah, you can fifths work.
I brought out the accordion, everyone. And I don't have a mic for it, so it's just the vocal mic will pick up a little bit of it.
Yeah, I'll throw the third in there for you.
Nice, yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. I don't know. One thing I've learned with like shoegaze stuff, it definitely had a lot of those sonic kind of qualities where it's like, I don't know, to me, where it's going back from
1 flat 7.
Yeah. I love
subtonic.
The subtonic is my favorite. Is basically, in my opinion, is the garlic powder of chords. Is like garlic.
The subtonic?
In my opinion, just because, well, you hear it in a lot of popular music more than you might think, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's definitely that money. It's definitely like, oh, that's that sweet spot. You know what I mean? You hear the 1 6 4 5 all the time, but when you throw in that flat 7, when people, and also too, you have some, forgive me for saying that, but you have like some, what's it called? Like a lot of like church praise music kind of like experience, right?
Yeah. I used to play in church.
Yeah. So like they use that in a lot of music too. You know what I mean?
Like contemporary Christian music.
Christian, Mm-hmm. That's the stuff that they want to do when they want to save people. You know what I mean? We're gonna throw in that flat 7, Jesus is coming back. Like that's that secret ingredient they put in there. That's the vanilla that they put into there. I'm gonna go to hell for that, but the flat 7 is the garlic powder. It's the umami.
Well, like the 4-1, the amen cadence.
Amen. Yeah. Yes.
It's got a similar feel.
It does, doesn't it?
The 7 to 1.
Yes, it does, doesn't it? Mm-hmm. No, I love it.
Did I tell you I'm teaching music theory now, by the way?
Dude, that's
why I remembered what subtonic was.
Can we cheers to that?
Sure, yeah.
Actually, I know someone that's going to go to, I won't say their name or whatever, but I know someone that's going to go to school for music at Kirkwood, and I'm looking forward for them to be one of your students. So that's going to be awesome.
Yeah, we'll see. Yeah. I mean, I'm only on a year contract now, but it's going well. I would like to keep doing it.
Dude, but, can we talk about that? Like, how's that been for you?
It's been fun. Like
nice.
I got my master's in 2014 in music composition, and then every job I've had since then has been kind of adjacent.
Yes.
to music, not something that my degree really qualifies me for, but just something that I am good enough at and interested in.
Yes.
I've been pretty lucky to have jobs that I like,
music
like
adjacent.
mostly,
Yes.
like it's related to the thing I'm interested in. But yeah, this job teaching music theory at a community college, the job listing came up and I was like, oh, hey,
Hell yeah.
it says they want people with master's degrees like me.
Like me, I got this.
Like the degree that I have. Wow.
It's like when
you
you're
don't see the job listings asking for that very much.
No, it's like when you're house hunting or whatever. It's like, this is literally everything that's literally the house I'm in right now. Like, this is my house. You're not looking for houses.
Yeah.
So, but no, it's, that's great, man. I'm really happy for you. Are you going to like throw in like some I'm assuming composition will be part of that too, to an extent or whatever?
I mean, I'm really only teaching like one class.
Like one class.
It's I'm not like a full-time faculty or anything. It's like adjunct.
Got
Yeah.
you. But that's still cool that you're teaching the basics. You know what I mean? And honestly, having someone like you that's able to break stuff down to the core, right? You're able to like break down complicated shit, and the simplest stuff too, into even like subatomic levels. So.
Yeah, I've been told that I display some patience when I'm teaching this stuff.
Yes,
which is
you
good.
do. Yes, yeah. Like these are the white notes, these are the black notes.
Yeah. Well, it's really interesting, like that first music theory class, people come into that maybe having already taken like high school AP music theory, some of them, and then a lot of them come in with like they've never read music.
What?
So it's like
Wow.
it's like you're teaching to an audience that's a group of students where the knowledge base coming in is like so all over the place.
Very
Yeah.
wow.
So trying
wow.
to teach all of them at once, it's like, how do you even do it?
How do you find like the common denominator amongst this group of kids?
Right.
Wow.
When I'm talking about this super basic stuff that somebody's already known for years,
Yeah.
like how do I keep that person engaged? I think it's been going well, but
No, I'm happy for you, man. Here's an idea too. Like, I don't know, have you, if I were to get into like teaching or whatever, one thing I always wanted to do was there's this program. Have you heard of a Note Flight?
what is it?
Noteflight.com. It's
Note
like a
Flight.
Yeah.
It sounds familiar.
Yeah, here's another advertising thing, for some revenue for it. I'm kidding. So Note Flight, it's like this music it's like Sibelius or Finale or
Right.
whatever.
Yeah, it's a transcription thing.
Yeah, and it's online and it's free. And a cool thing, and I always thought it'd be kind of interesting to put that, especially in a classroom setting, because apparently it's evolved. It's been around for like almost 15 years, I think, but especially in a classroom setting or whatever, they've had it where students are able to be on the computer, go on a Note Flight and like write shit and do stuff together.
Oh, collaborate.
Yeah, collaborate.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I think there's stuff, like Soundation or whatever, where it's not like notation based, but you can like do beats and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I don't know if you've heard about it or whatever, but yeah, you should check it out, man.
Yeah, I definitely have heard the word Note Flight. Maybe from you. I don't know. But I never looked into it really myself.
There's also, speaking about music, there's one, this may or may not be something I should share, but I'll keep it very vague. So, one thing I've been trying to do more is to get into writing more, for a concert band and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I won't say who it is, but next year I will have a piece published.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. For concert band. I won't say the publisher or anything like that, but I'll keep it. Yeah.
It's all secret.
It's all secret. Yeah. Even though Bill Carson loved him to death, but he made me tell people. No, I'm kidding. But, but yeah, it's, I'm supposed to keep that under wraps. The way I took it is like not to put it on Facebook or whatever, but I still have to work out some of like I'm sure to work out some parts to maybe make it more commercialized or whatever. But yeah, so that's a cool thing.
Yeah, that'll be good.
Yeah, man.
If people buy it and you get money from it.
Hell yeah,
great.
man. That's not even necessarily about the money, but just but just to be able to, I think with composition, I'm not sure if we talked about like our muses or whatever. But like I know like you and I, we had some common threads of like video game music and stuff like that or whatever.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
But like
video games and cartoons.
Yeah.
Most of the music I listened to growing up. Yeah.
Yeah.
And like, I got into Weird Al and stuff when I was like 9.
But it's like, do you ever think about like when getting into music composition, what was going to be, who were going to be your players? Who were going to be the folks that were going to, kind of realize your music? Or was it going to be, in my case, almost something that I would like play or whatever on like Sibelius or whatever, and I would hear it, but never really think so far as who was going to play it. Like, do you ever think about
a real life person?
Yeah, like how it was going to be produced, essentially, like literal production of music when you're creating it or thinking about it.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, getting in, when I started doing that stuff, I was like, I had no idea, you know?
Oh.
And then, that was sort of what was taught to me in college, was like, you know, think about, don't just write for an instrument or an ensemble that's like a standard ensemble. Don't just think of like string quartets, whatever. Compose to like actual people you know.
Yes.
Which I think is a very valuable thing. I mean, that's like where good music comes from, I think. I mean, most of the music you hear is like the result of collaboration between people who know each other well.
Exactly. Right? And you know what? And that's something I think I've learned from you a lot, actually, through the collaboration piece, just because there's only so many breadcrumbs that you can lay out. Like obviously if you're writing something or whatever, the breadcrumbs are out there for someone to follow and ideally to play. But as far as,
sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But as far as like how they pick them up or whatever, you can't control that. You know what I mean?
Sure. And if you want like some music that you wrote, if we're talking about like the traditional sort of like composer, performer, it's being performed in recital halls and stuff.
Exactly.
If you want that to happen like more than once, it's best to write like for someone you're friends with.
Exactly.
And then they'll want to keep using it. You know?
Right. Could you imagine if like...
But that's different from publishing like a band piece.
That, you know, and that's funny.
Hopefully people will play that.
Hopefully, right. And it's funny because it's a whole... I love talking about this with you because it's like... I learn a lot from you about this too, because with like when you do with like how you do a lot of collaborations and stuff, if I may like speak about that or whatever, I feel like you're able to know how like you vibe with somebody, how you play with them. And like, I bet when you write for somebody or like think of like these collaborative kind of scenes or whatever, like you set the mood for it so that knowing the person, like, hey, we're probably going to go, I may not know exactly where they're going to take this, but here is the environment. Here is like the petri dish where these cultures are going to do their thing. Like you definitely seem to have cultivated that right kind of environment, that right space, you know, and that's something like, it's interesting that you describe it that way. Cause like I haven't like written like traditional like music on a staff for anybody in a while. Mm-hmm. The last piece I can remember writing was this summer with my friend Christine Burke. Yeah. We like put an ensemble together. And I wrote a text piece. So like it's just instructions written in text. It's cool. Like a 3-part piece called can't even remember the name of my own piece. Noise, music, talk is what it's called. Oh, nice. Noise, music, talk. And so there are 3 sections, one of noise, one of music, and one of talk. Nice.
And it's a piece with radios, so 2 radios across from each other on the stage, and then a group of instrumentalists.
Nice.
And that's like open-ended. Mm-hmm. But that's like basically the piece is that I'm really just setting up a situation for a group of people to be in. I'm not even like writing the music. Right.
Like it's so Miles Davis of you if you think about it, you know? Because he's like, yeah, let's go out there, you know, we're just gonna, you know, and play. And that's really the essence of it, you know? And I know like it sucks because like for me, you know, with band music, cause like, you know, it's kind of like the illusion of choice thing for me. It's like whenever I want to write something, I'm always thinking towards those big. I always want to go big. I always want to write for band. I always want to write for. You're
sort of thinking about more of like a concrete idea and how to execute it.
And it's. I know like there are you know different ways to get to the ultimate end result. You know where it's like with me and cooking. It's like I throw a bunch of shit together and I just try to make that shit happen, you know? Like, I know that these ingredients are going to work well together because damn it, they have before and I'm going to do it again, you know?
Sure, yeah.
And it's going to look like this, you know? Like, I'm going to try and see this through because I have a vision. I'm going to make sure these breadcrumbs sort of get to where I want to get to. And then come hell or high water. Some, like, they might get lost a little way, but they eventually going to meander this way. But like, I never think of it being like, I need to remind myself, like, it's okay to think kind of like inductively, like, well, what if, you know, like someone could bring in, so, you know, like stone soup, you know, and that stone soup could turn into like the most delicious shit you've ever had.
Sure. And if you're open to the offerings of others. Yeah,
it's like exactly. And it's like, and that's the thing with band, unfortunately, that's why I wanted to get into that space because let's be honest, band music, you already know, like just from the title, Just for the damn title.
There are conventions.
There are
Yes,
conventions.
Yes.
If you go by Earth, Wind, Fire, or Water, the band piece has written itself. You know, like the air above us, or something so mundane.
Flight.
The flight. Thank you, flight. Flight.
I mean, that's a real piece, isn't it?
It is.
Isn't there a
In flight is a real
in flight.
In
right?
flight, yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, I really like that piece just because
I'm pretty sure I played it. I don't really remember it.
it's got that subtonic in there. If you listen, you know,
I'm sure it does. Yeah.
But like, that's the thing with the reason I, you know, and for me, like concert band is where I got into it, you know, and choir too, those big sounds and stuff like that. But let's be honest, it's like you write for that piece, there are definitely some conventions that you kind of are gravitated towards, you know?
Right. Yeah.
And
because there, you know, people have found what works for this group of instruments.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And to be honest with you, Justin, as far as expediency is concerned, boy, there's nothing greater than being like, oh, this shit, like, man, I already have all these instruments. They already know their role. We got an engine going.
Yeah, it's not so conducive to like experimentation or like discovery of new stuff. But it's like that's the system. Is like
thank you.
Most bands are like an educational ensemble at a school.
Yup.
The directors are looking for a certain level of difficulty.
Yep. They already know the piece that they want to program. To an extent, they already know the composers, you know.
There's already a group of standards.
And that's the thing about it where like, it's funny because while I'm really happy that I'm going to have music that's out there, I'm like, well, wait a minute. Like, what are our next pieces going to look like? Are they going to be fabrications of what I think is going to sell? You know what I'm saying? Where like, cause ultimately I want to like, obviously I want to write stuff that people are going to play, yada, yada, but I don't want to like sell myself out either, you know? You know, it's a very sticky position, you know, where like, I just want to be in a place where I write, but I also want to be where like, I want to like write stuff that hasn't, this sounds really canned and I'm sorry, but I want to write stuff that hasn't been heard before. You know what I mean?
No,
Like,
that's what,
like,
like, why would you get into music?
Why would you exactly
to do what's already been done?
But that's the thing. But
what's already been done is what people are comfortable with.
Thank you.
And it's less challenging to execute it in reality. So it makes sense to choose the easy path.
It is easy. And it is though. That's
there's a reason people do it. Yeah.
But, and that's the thing. Like
I don't think anyone makes a lot of money off of music publishing.
They don't.
Right?
No, unless you're like, I feel like it's like an MLM.
There's a handful of people.
It's like an MLM situation, you know, like, well, that's the thing. It'd be cool, for instance, to like throw in some aleatoric kind of stuff, things that like are going to shift conventions a little bit, but it's like, if you do that too much, it's like, well, are like people gonna like seek your stuff out? Or like, am I gonna be that Nigerian American guy that's gonna put out like music that is gonna be like, oh, let's, you know, he's gonna hopefully do some stuff about his homeland, or, you know what I mean? Or like, you know,
you can draw him in with that.
The
DEI band director.
Thank you, yeah. And that's the thing. And luckily, you know, the good thing
honestly, if that works, you should try that.
Man, for real though. And I think I've been told that it's like, we don't want you to write just because you're the black guy. But then again, it's like, that's nowadays though, like, a lot of composers out there are people of color, are LGBTQ folks, women, these underrepresented folks that are coming out there.
If people are making an actual effort to program those people, that's good.
Yeah. But it's like, the last thing I want to do is write to the heavens and the skies. You know, to be honest, like, I love, like, you know, the swear engine stuff, all those folks, you know, they've been doing the game for a while, but it's, my God.
They know how a band works. And
they know how the band works. They know what sounds good. Yeah. But, you know, let's be honest, they've heard, I guarantee you, the piece that they put out there is going to be, it's something that they've essentially been heard before. It's going to be like it's just going to be a different like different coloration or whatever, you know, instead of like a horn solo, it might be an oboe and a tuba solo or something like that, you know, but like that's the big challenge for me, Justin. It's like, I want to be able to like, you know, go off of like, you know, the template, but be able to paint the template that
stretch the boundaries.
Stretch your boundaries a little bit, you know,
but not enough for people to throw it away.
Right. You know, you want people to play it, but it's like, you don't want like, I don't want to play stuff that has already been heard before, just because the band world is already saturated with, you know, that, you know, the very, the bandstration sound, if you will.
Right.
So like, it'll be, I don't know, man. Like there's some ideas I might like bounce off, like maybe that'd be a whole other thing just to talk about, like how to like educate kids or whatever in a group like that, and be able to get them to think differently, in a group setting or whatever, finding a way to introduce different ideas,
Yeah, that's such a more hands-on activity, though. It's different from like sending something to a publisher and then you can buy from them.
You have to,
The purchase of that piece doesn't mean that Duroje shows up and teaches you the piece.
No. And that's the thing. And that's the thing. Like, I mean, luckily, thanks to like folks like Bill Carson, he's been big proponent of playing new stuff. Mm-hmm. He's very much so is. And I'll definitely
played your music before.
Yeah. And like, I'll give him credit too, because we played a lot of interesting stuff out there where we might have read it a couple times and we've programmed it. And like Alex Shapiro is a really good one that, I should send some stuff your way to play sometime. She's definitely one that like, I met her last year at a convention and she got me to really think about like just writing just for the hell of it, whether it gets published or not. And like, she's got a damn like rock band, like essentially built in, one of her pieces,
Nice.
like,
so she wrote for like concert band plus like electric guitar and stuff.
Exactly. Electric guitar. That's the thing. Even something as novel as an electric guitar, like for God's sakes, like that. Ooh, right. You tell that to James Swearingen.
I can't find an electric guitar player at the college.
Exactly.
Sure.
Right. Thank you. It's like basically when it comes to concert band, it's like the most exotic they get is like if they get like is they get a solo for Barry sax, or they have like different percussion instruments or whatever. They have, you know what I mean? Where they have
percussion's always the most experimental section.
It really is. Like they're like, we're gonna have an African drum. We're gonna have like an African shakere, and they can, of course, they mispronounce it or whatever. This is our African piece called, Zimbabwe Delights or whatever by some old white guy that had no nose.
I was playing. I told you before we were recording this that I've been playing a lot of F-Zero 99
yes.
on the Switch.
Yeah.
Last night so it shows you like everyone's names that you're playing with. There's 99 people per race, right?
Yeah.
One of the people that I placed near while I was racing last night, his name was Jim Bobway. I thought that was really good.
Dude, that's awesome. That's Jim Bobway.
Jim Bobway.
That's, even if he's not from Zimbabwe, I gotta give him credit for that. That's freaking hilarious. No, man, but it's, I'm looking forward to writing again, honestly, and frankly, just talking to you and stuff like that, being able to just talk to other composers again. I've been so bad at that, but I miss it.
Yeah. I'm not at all like a networker.
No, I'm not either.
Yeah.
But it's like being able to like just to talk, like that's what I keep forgetting, that there's something really kind of mentally stimulating and kind of like like spiritually stimulating as a musician. So thank you.
Yeah.
And just being able to just talk about this stuff and just, because every time like I'm back to the drawing board, it's like, going back to losing the choice, where it's like my fingers always shift to those similar sonorities over and over again.
Right.
It's like when you go to Walmart, it's like you go straight to your vegetables, straight to like your French fries and ice cream, or whatever. Like you fool yourself into thinking, hey, like I'm going grocery shopping. I don't really make a list, but I'm going to get the stuff that I think that I might want or whatever. But it's like I'm back to like the grooves that I've kind of crafted out a long time ago, rather than, actually branching out and getting stuff that might be good for me or whatever for my family, rather than the same old crap.
Yeah. Which chords are the best for my son?
Would you?
I always used to use this chord a lot.
Oh, A7.
Oh, I'm not hitting with that on top.
Oh, with the sharp 9?
Yeah.
Yeah, play that again, because I really want to hear that again.
Let me see if all 4 of these pitches will come out.
If not, I can hum for you.
This is what I want. There it is. Yeah, that C is like not.
The C is like kind of like, yeah.
It's like I can't push enough air through.
Because you can't, like, you don't want to, because it'll be different if you threw the C with the C sharp, because
right,
that's.
I wanted it to octave.
You wanted, you wanted that.
But there it is together. These 4 notes.
I like that. Have you, no, there's I wonder if you could do that, because, No. Never mind. That's actually, could you do that with like with the flat 9 and the sharp 9 together?
Flat 9 and sharp 9.
Yeah. So B flat C. Yeah.
Oh, B flat also.
Yeah. It might require all 5 of your fingers. Yeah.
Like that.
Yeah.
when it's all together, it's really crunchy.
Yeah. I think I tried messing with that. I need to get a new piano, but like I think I tried messing with that. I'm like, that is hella crunchy.
That's with the B flat up there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That sounds like 2 trains conversion.
Yeah, that's almost like an octatonic chord. It's
actually. It sounds like something from. It's actually because you're also playing the harmonic. What the hell is it? Your accordion. It sounds like something from Breath of the Wild, doesn't it?
Oh, really?
Yeah, like you're in some Gerudo town or Gerudo town.
I'm not very good at this instrument.
No, are you kidding? Like, it sounds like you need a heart. Do you have a heart? What the hell is it called? Melodica?
Oh, I don't have one. But it's a similar sound.
Yeah,
because it's just blowing air through reeds.
Yeah.
It just sounds like a saxophone, pretty much.
Where'd you get that from?
My mom found it at like an antique store, and it was in like shockingly good shape.
That isn't shockingly good shape.
I haven't done any work on it. This just came like this.
Dude, that should be like in your next project of sorts, man.
I did record something with it over the summer. Like somebody needed Adrian Green was his name. He was participating in the Iowa Choreography Festival, and he needed like some music to put a dance together to. And the subject of the piece was like being stranded on an island. And so I threw some like long accordion tones in it. Like, well, not that. It was a minor. It wasn't right. Minor chord. Yeah, it was like one of these, really slow and quiet in the mix.
Mm-hmm.
It's a hard instrument because like look at all these buttons on the left.
Because each one of those buttons represents a chord quality, right?
Or a bass note. Over here, it's just like a note.
Wow! Oh my god!
The first 2 columns are just a bass note, and then it's a major, minor, I think 7th. Yeah, like a dominant 7th, and then a diminished. Is it diminished? Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It sounded like an E7, but because you were playing the B.
Because I had played one right before that, yeah.
So, like, when you play the notes, like, on the keyboard, does it play, like, the melody on top of that, too? Or, like, is that another way you can play it? Like,
basically, like, you're doing, like, the harmony stuff with your left hand with these buttons. And then you can play.
Oh, my goodness. Wow.
It's hard to do while sitting. But like,
I can see because you're.
I'm using my leg now to move it, but people who are really good at accordion are like very interesting. Yeah.
Have you seen that Weird Al movie? I really want to see it.
Yeah, I did see that.
Is it good?
It's pretty good. I mean, it's like it's sort of like a cameo fest.
Yeah.
Because like Weird Al is like friends with a whole bunch of famous people because he's just like really nice, you know?
Oh yeah.
So like all of them are in the movie at some point, like all of his friends.
Oh hell yeah.
It's fun though. You know, Daniel Radcliffe doing this like melodramatic, serious take on Weird Al. It's like a serious take within a parody movie.
Yeah,
it's very funny. He really nails the tone of it.
Awesomeness. Yeah. No, I'll have to check it out. Have you besides S099 and stuff, or did you watch the Mario movie?
I have not watched that.
It's for what it is, it's not bad for what it is.
Yeah.
You just kind of go in there, you know, with there's no plot whatsoever.
Yeah.
You know? Well, yeah, that's all I can say about that.
I just looked at the clock. I got to go to work.
Oh, yes.
I mean, I don't have to leave right now, but I'm just saying we should probably wrap soon so I can get to work in about 40 minutes.
Right on, man.
So how do you want to close out? What should we do?
What should we do, man?
You haven't played that at all.
I have not played that at all.
You want to play something?
Let's play something. Yeah,
okay.
I would love to play something.
Okay.
All right.
Maybe we'll close out that way.
Oh yeah. You should we should do like some so I'm assuming you got like your harmonic your accord why do I know instruments? Your accordion, there's like some out to sea shit or whatever. I don't know. You set the room, my friend. You set the room.
Okay, I'll try to make a nice texture with this. My headphones are like on the wrong side of the stand here.
Do you mind if I stand?
No, you can stand.
Awesome. I figure this might be so I don't bonk nothing.
So I think this is as low as it'll go.
Perfect.
Whoops.
Yeah. I like that.
It always likes to just like crap out a few notes if you bump it at all.
It's like,
What key was that in? I don't even know what we were playing.
it was like a D. I really like, I feel like you're doing that D. E. It's like kind of like a octatonic situation you got going on, like D fridge, but like
yeah.
but it was like a modal something in like a modal D key.
D was what we kept coming back to, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool.
I love it because it works for my kind of instrument. So
Yeah.
yeah. No.
All right. Maybe I should throw something on the end of this too.
Let's do it, man.
We listen to something, and that'll be the closer. Do you have anything else coming up, or anything that you would like anyone listening to know about?
So my son, he's going to be 2 in a month and a half. So any parents that are listening that want to provide some free advice, I'm always down. Better parenting tips or whatever. No, Sarah does an amazing job. I love what she does. She's a great mom. Honestly, that's about it. I play with the Co-Collars concert band. Wonderful group. And of course with Faux Doubt, this Saturday. And then I will be at the Midwest Clinic, chilling out my business cards.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. I'll meet the person, my publisher, meet him for the first time.
Oh, cool.
Now, once again, I still need to meet with them to discuss the changes that would need to happen with the piece. Really, I'm telling you, man, being a parent and, of course, having a house and, having pets and stuff like that. We have a puppy that his name's Garth. He's a little asshole, but really that's about it, man.
Yeah. All right. Cool.
Yeah.
You mind if I plug a couple things that I'm doing?
Please do. Yes.
All right. So, again, this is going to happen before the episode is released. So, this is just sort of me bragging, but, my friend David Clare and I, we're going to be playing music at the Englert Theater on October 15th. Mm-hmm. And we're opening for Werner Herzog.
That's right.
Isn't that weird?
How did we not talk about that? Are you excited about this?
Of course. Yeah.
Okay,
it's
good.
be really cool.
Someone said that are going to have, is it Werner or Werner?
I mean, I think it's Werner. He's German, so it's like
Werner,
how they say it. Yeah.
You should get him up on stage to like do some stuff with y'all.
I don't know. I don't know.
So what does he do again? I keep forgetting.
Well, he's a film director.
That's right.
Mainly.
That's right.
And he's going to be, he's released like an autobiography, I think. And he's going to be like talking about it and reading from it, I think, at this event.
Dude,
it's part of a film festival.
Proud of you, man.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm happy. It's going to be fun.
Yeah. Awesome, man.
And stuff that's happening after this episode will be released. October 26th, if you are in Indianapolis, my group BCJ's, which is me and Brian Pancrot and Jason Palomara, although all of the performances I'm about to tell you about, it's just me and Brian. But we're going to be playing at the AMP at 16 Tech in Indianapolis with Jason Palomara's ensemble, Dis Ensemble, which is something he directs at the school he works at. The 26th in Indianapolis. November 9th at the Institute for Studies of Ancient Cultures in Chicago, Illinois, another BCJ's show with saxophonist Tom Snidacker, who I have not met, but that should be a fun show. November 10th, the day after that, we'll be playing at Fargo Venue in DeKalb, Illinois. November 11th, BCJ's in Chicago at the Color Club. That should be a good one. And this one, people who listen to this will probably be in the vicinity of this one. November 17th, BCJ's at Public Space 1 Close House in Iowa City. November 17th. And M. Denny will be joining us for that show. That'll be a good time. That's our like hometown show. Nice. And then, although the Chicago one is Brian's hometown show because he's in Chicago. I'm in a band with a guy who lives 4 hours that way. It's kind of hard to practice, but we have been doing it pretty regularly.
Oh, yeah.
And then the last show of this BCJ's tour, in quotes, we're going to be playing at the Galesburg Community Arts Center November 18th in Galesburg, Illinois.
All right.
So if you are nearby for any of those and would like to hear some strange music involving a baritone saxophone and a guitar and a shitload of electronics.
Hell yeah.
I think we're fairly accessible for what we are.
Oh, absolutely.
I think people might like it.
I like the remixes that, I don't know if it was, I know it was with Chris Emery that you've done some stuff with.
Yeah.
When we were last together, I thought that was some really cool shit that you guys did together.
Thank you.
Yeah. I was actually meaning to tell you a brief thing about what I've listened to. I guarantee you, I think you'd really like him. Darcy James Argue.
Darcy James what?
Argue. Yeah, he's a Canadian guy. He's a band leader. He wrote he directs like a group called the Secret Society. It's like this jazz like group or whatever, and they from Brooklyn. And he did an album based on like Buckminster Fullerene's idea of dynamic maximum tension.
Oh wow!
It is,
that guy was weird.
Oh, he was hella weird. Like there's like some dynamic. Like when I looked it up on Wikipedia, I'm like, what the hell is this?
Yeah.
But the music, like when I've heard it, I'm like, oh my god, it's so basically, like, each of the pieces that they've done together, that he's composed, is based off, like, so he wrote a piece based off, like, Marie Curie, for instance. Of course, Buckminster Fullerene, all these figures or whatever from back in the day or whatever. A lot of cool shit. It's really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Darcy James Argue.
Okay. And that's another of Duroje's plugs.
Yes. I don't know him personally, but yeah.
All right. Well, since David and I are going to be opening for Werner Herzog, maybe to close out today's show, episode 125 of iHearIC Radio, the 6th anniversary episode with Duroje Gwamna, I'm going to play the closing track from an album that David and I released on September 1st. The album is called Now and Forever. Very proud of it. I really like this album that David and I put together. Nice. The final track is called Offer, and it's the shortest track, so that's why I'm putting it here at the end, because I have to go to work. So thanks everyone for listening. Thank you, Duroje, for joining me once again for the anniversary.
Enjoy the cake, man. Happy anniversary, bro.
Yeah, thank you. I didn't mention the cake. That was another of the gifts brought to me by the guests. Here is Offer by me, Justin K. Comer, and David Clare. And thank you. Goodbye.
Okay, first of all, I do not believe that Seattle.
Best and final contract offer to the workers in Racine, Wisconsin and Burlington, Iowa, who have been on strike for about 8 months. Walkouts. Union leaders criticized the company's latest contract proposal.
May your joy be complete as you hear his voice now and forever.